Hi all you healthy humans, welcome to New Leaf Table TV. I'm your host, Chef E, and today we're making garlic butter steak bites with roasted asparagus and potatoes. You're gonna love it. If you want a restaurant quality meal that's simple and healthy, this will be your go-to. So to start, we have grass-fed sirloin or tenderloin. Grass-fed is so important because it's hormone and additive free. It also supports sustainable farming and ranching practices that's going to allow for a healthier ecosystem and support biodiversity. Next, we have asparagus and baby potatoes. We also have grass-fed unsalted butter. We have Worcestershire sauce, rosemary and thyme, avocado oil, salt and pepper, fresh garlic. We also have beef tallow. If you don't have tallow, you can use a different type of cooking fat, but I recommend getting you a jar of beef tallow. It's rendered from beef or lamb fat, which just means heated and strained. This fat is very stable at high temperatures. It's a great energy source, and it's actually packed with fat-soluble vitamins. This is actually Fawn's new product. Fawn is the bone broth that we love. They are actually making beef tallow and pork lard now, and I highly recommend. It's pretty much the highest quality that you can get. We also have Parmesan cheese. And lastly, we have parsley. Okay guys, can we talk about parsley for a second? I know you feel like it's just a garnish and it's easy to leave off, but it actually is a powerhouse of nutrient and antioxidants, and it supports bone health, digestion, and detoxification. So don't leave it off. These fresh herbs add so much nutrient value to your dish. So let's get started. First off, go ahead and preheat your oven to 400 degrees. The very next thing we're gonna do is chop up our potatoes to get these guys in the oven because they are gonna take the longest to cook. There's my oven preheated. So we wanna go ahead and get these in. So let's go ahead and chop them into halves or quarters depending on how big each one is. Next, we're gonna add our chopped potatoes to a baking dish that is lined with unbleached parchment paper. The parchment paper is unnecessary, but it helps with cleanup so much just in case anything gets roasted onto the pan. Then we're gonna take our beef tallow. Once again, you could use a different cooking oil, but I love tallow for roasting potatoes because it helps them get nice and crispy. So our tallow is a saturated fat. It's going to be solid at room temperature. So you could heat it up beforehand to get it in liquid form, but I'm just gonna take a knife and spread it around on each of my potatoes, and then I'll do a good mix at the end. Next, we're going to mince 3 cloves of garlic to add to our potatoes. Gonna need more garlic for the steak, so leave your garlic press or garlic twister out. Next, we're gonna do about a teaspoon of rosemary. Potatoes are gonna be delicious. A teaspoon of thyme and some salt and pepper. And some fresh grated Parmesan cheese. Now we're gonna mix these up and get them in the oven. I just prefer to get my hands dirty. It's easier for me. You could also use a spoon like a civilized person. Okay, make sure your potatoes are nice and coated and then spread them out evenly on your pan. Okay, now we're gonna pop these potatoes in the oven for 20 minutes. Then we'll get them out and add the asparagus and then finish cooking everything for another 15 minutes. Okay, next up, we're gonna take our sirloin and pat it dry so we can get a nice sear on the steak. And flip it over, pat it dry. Then we're gonna cut it into cubes. You wanna make sure and get fairly even cubes so that they will cook evenly. Now let's go ahead and season the beef cubes with salt and pepper. Get them all mixed together. And now we can set these aside for just a minute and let that salt absorb into the meat and get it nice and flavored all the way through. Next up, let's get our asparagus ready. So you want to go ahead and cut off the woody ends from your asparagus. You can do this with a knife and a chopping board. I am just going to use my kitchen shears. Whoop. And then we're going to cut them into bite-sized pieces and add them to a bowl. Now we're gonna add some avocado oil, about a teaspoon of rosemary, and salt and pepper, and give it a nice stir. Now asparagus is ready to go into the oven when those potatoes are done cooking after 20 minutes. Next, we're gonna take a pan, preferably a large one, because you wanna get your beef evenly spaced in the pan so that it's not overcrowded. Heat it to medium-high heat. Go ahead and add a couple tablespoons of your beef tallow. I need some more beef tallow. Go through a lot of this in our house. Now let's make sure our beef tallow evenly coats the pan and gets nice and melted. Then we're gonna add our steak bites evenly to the pan, cook 2 to 3 minutes on one side, and then flip, and we'll cook 2 to 3 minutes on the other side until your desired degree of doneness, and you want them to have a nice crust. Okay, now we'll let them cook for a couple of minutes on one side and then flip them to the other side. Okay, let's go ahead and flip our steak. Okay, while the steak is finishing up, I'm gonna chop up our parsley. So you wanna go ahead and remove the parsley from the stems. The stems can get kind of bitter, and you won't want those in your dish. Now just give them a rough chop. Okay, our steak bites are done, so let's transfer them to a separate plate. Okay, next up, we're gonna use the same pan to make our garlic butter sauce. So let's take about 3 tablespoons of our grass-fed butter and add it to the pan at about medium to medium low. Let it melt. While that's melting, we're gonna take 4 cloves of garlic and get them minced up. Okay, now let's add our garlic straight to the pan. We're gonna let this cook for 30 to 60 seconds until it's nice and fragrant. Be careful not to burn your garlic, so keep it stirring, and you only wanna do it for about a minute. Make sure and scrape all those good brown bits off the bottom of your pan. Now we're gonna add a splash of Worcestershire sauce. Now go ahead and turn down your heat to low, and now add your steak bits back to the pan. And toss everything to get it nice and coated. All right, now we can remove this from the heat and let it sit and let all the flavors get nice and combined. Okay, our potatoes are ready, so let's get them out and add the asparagus. Okay, add your asparagus right to the pan, and you can give everything a good stir. Mix it all together. Now we're gonna return this to the oven and cook for another 10 to 15 minutes until our asparagus is tender. Okay, while our steak rests, we wait for the potatoes and asparagus to finish up. Okay, our asparagus is ready. Let's get it on out of the oven. Let's get everything plated up. Add your steak bites with a generous scoop of the garlic butter. And then your asparagus and potatoes. Go ahead and sprinkle parsley on top of your steak. And if you want, add a little extra Parmesan cheese to your veggies. And there you have it, folks, our garlic butter steak bites with roasted potatoes and asparagus. Thanks for watching New Leaf Table TV. Until we dine again, farewell, healthy humans. To subscribe to New Leaf Table's meal plan service with weekly meals and easy delivery through your existing Amazon Fresh membership, visit our website at newleaftable.com. And also, please hit the subscribe button to our YouTube channel. Hi, all you healthy humans. Welcome to New Leaf Table TV. I'm your host, Chef E, and tonight. So, to go over our ingredients, we have grass-fed beef. Forgot what I was going to say. We have Worcestershire sauce. Did I say that right? Worcestershire? We have Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire sauce. Worcestershire. Okay. We have Worcestershire sauce. I was like...
Worcestershire. Think of that like...
They are actually making beef tallow and pork lard now. Porky lard. These fresh herbs add so much nutrient value to your dish. Okay, let's get started. So our tallow is a saturated fat. Oops. Okay. So our tallow is a saturated fat. It's going to be solid at room temperature. So okay, let me redo that. Fun fact, I also lather my 6-month-old baby in beef tallow after his bath. Yes, he smells like a pot roast, and yes, his skin is baby smooth. Okay, forgot what I was doing next. Beef tallow. What's for dinner? There we go. Had to break out the wood chopper. Okay, while our steak rests and we wait for our asparagus, we wait. Okay.